Welcome all! How's everybody doing today? Enjoying the rest day at World Chess Championship match? How about we enjoy this moment reminding ourselves that Dina has just played the tournament, OTB tournament, Reykjavik Open, and apparently all of you have been begging me to show you more games from that event. But before we jump into the game, let me show you what I actually was feeling right after the match. Ladies and gentlemen, Reykjavik Open has just finished. Oh, that's my card. Well, 5.5 out of 9. What can I say? Nice performance, gaining 30-something points. Beat a couple of Grandmasters. Today, though, did not hold. You know how it goes, my theory. It doesn't really matter how good or bad you played the tournament. What matters is how you finish the last game. Because this is the feeling that you get when you quit the playing hall for the last time. Anyway, let me show you the game. I was playing with black pieces. I was facing Indian International Master Dulipala Balachandra Prasad. Was that correct? I beg my Indian audience forgives me. The game started with d4, knight f6. See, I've prepared for this game. c4, e6. I knew my opponent would go for g3 Catalan, and I was suggesting this bishop b4 line in the Rogozin. The idea is that, once again, I saw in the base that my opponent would always go only bishop d2, and I was like, yeah, I like that. The reason I like that is because this bishop takes the square of the knight, and normally this bishop belongs to b2 on this super strong diagonal. And in d2 it's kind of awkward. Also the queen doesn't protect the pawn, so it was in my favor. Bishop g2, d5, knight f3, short castle, knight d7. So far we're in my prep. Everything is going according to the plan. Queen c2, c6, bishop f4. Once again, I told you bishop d2 was not doing great. So if you ask me, Dina, but why did you play bishop before and then back bishop e7 and you lost the tempo? Didn't you tell us that one should never move a piece 2 times when it's already developed, when you still have other pieces which are not developed? Well, no, it's actually true. So yes, but here you see 1 and 2. So white bishop also lost the tempo because he needed to put himself into the better square. So here is the key moment of the opening, because my opponent had a lot of games that would continue with b6 and then putting the bishop on b7, but I came up with this a5. It was a move suggested by my coach, and it's pretty creative because we want to take this pace from the side, not the center. We push the pawns, and like, you know, when sometimes you push the h-pawn, but not here. Yeah, this was the first time where my opponent started to think, and he came up with this kind of, I would say, dubious move, a4. Yes, it's true that you kind of don't let me advance, so don't let me take space, but at the same time, you give me this b4 square, and b4 square is extremely important because I could transfer my knight there, I could put my bishop there. It's like an outpost, right? So knight h5, this is the very typical way of playing it. I want the bishop to go back, and when the bishop goes back, I'm like, I'm okay with the draw. I'm playing black. It's a last round. Draw could guarantee me my 5th international master norm. Best women's prize. Oh, bishop f4? Well, let's go. Knight h5. I want to draw. Do you want to draw? No, I don't want to draw. Bishop c1. I'm like, okay, fine. Well, show me how you're gonna improve. And here my opponent thought for a very long time. Well, actually, he thought for a very long time before playing bishop c1, because when he played bishop c1, he knew already that on knight f6 back, he wanted to develop his knight. But look at this knight. Isn't that passive? Blocking the bishop is losing way too much tempo. So d takes c4. This is a mistake. In fact, here, the best move for black, which would equalize the position, would be a very typical Caro-Canish maneuver, putting the knight on b8. You'll say, what the crap? You're gonna put the knight back to where it started? And then what? And I'm like, sweetie, and then I go to a knight a6, and then I go to knight b4. Things have changed. You cannot play, pawns cannot move backwards. You cannot kick my knight out of b4. So yeah, and after e4, I had to understand that here black should not take. In fact, after capturing, like, the logical response, here white is just +1, like, so much better. But, like, an extra pawn, right? +1. But instead, we say, we don't care about the center. Go take the center. I'll go back. And then how are you going to develop your pieces? knowing that my knight comes and then I can take on c4. And you know, with this setup, g3 and bishop on g2, in fact, the bishop would be so much stronger here on d3 attacking. So white is just so slow. It would be like, in a way, especially after we capture, it would be like a perfect Caro-Kann. And you know, they say whenever there is a fianchetto or fianchetto, then there is no attack, because this is like so much stopping the attack. So even if knight e1, then knight b4, and yeah, black is just even slightly better. Well, instead of playing this knight b8 super creative maneuver, once again, a really, really nice Caro-Kannish maneuver, I played this really bad d takes c4. And now white is just better because they have a center. And even if you say, okay, Dina, but you're coming to your favorite square b4, I'm like, no, it's not enough. I couldn't feel that in the game it wasn't enough. I thought I was equalizing. Maybe not so clear, but I wasn't. Bishop d2, knight b4. Here, though, my opponent rushes, giving away the bishop. I'm like, now I have 2 bishops. How can I be worse here? Then he plays rook d1, and I'm like, I'm lacking space. Therefore, I need to trade pieces. Would you like to trade my knight? And my opponent is like, yes. But I'm like, why? Now I'm like, perfect. And this was the moment where the story started, like the actual story of the game. I told you, I lost patience. I edited this video because we would spend 20 moves from now on standing on the same spot, preparing some, small plans, but not really. Repeating the position, but then refusing the repetition, like 2 times, not 3 times. And I was like, yes, I got my draw. My last round draw. I beat 2 grandmasters in this tournament. I won my last draw. I want to finish on a positive note. I don't want to screw this tournament for me. Knight g5, g6. I mean, there was a mating thread. I hope you saw that. Knight e4, bishop e7, because knight wanted to come. Bishop has nothing to do on b4. e3, bishop d7. Development, ladies and gentlemen, super important. Knight c5, attacking the bishop. I'm like, I'm fine trading the bishop. Well, computer says it's... computer prefers the other rook. Computer is so lame. But yeah, okay, listen. Even if they trade, it's an opposite colored bishops, right? So I'm fine. Knight d3, bishop c8. Dina, why do you put a bishop back on the standing position? Well, brothers and sisters, the rook is no longer on a8, right? So the rook is developed and the bishop is a half-developed piece. So as long as bishop doesn't bother any other piece, he's fine standing on the basic position. It's not like the knight or so. Queen c3, and plus, if they have a push b4, which was, by the way, the winning plan throughout all the next 20 moves, then the b7 would be a weakness, and I would want to protect it. See? Smart. f6. Okay, dubious? Hell no. I want to prepare e5. I want to open the position. I have 2 bishops. Don't forget, I have 2 bishops. Rook c1. I mean... probably already here somewhere white could have pushed b4, rook e8, queen c4, king h8, h4, bishop f8. I'm solid. I want to play e5 one day. Bishop h3, rook d5, bishop g2, c, second time reposition. Hi, you sure you're a subscriber? I didn't see you clicking that button down below. It's right here. Rook d8, bishop h3. Yes, let's do for a draw. No draw. Sweetheart, bishop g4. I'm like, okay, fine. b3, rook d6, bishop h3, queen d8, queen c2, rook d5, bishop g2. Draw. Hell no. Bishop h3, rook d5. I mean, come on, draw. Wait, wasn't it repeated 3 times? Oh, I cannot. Okay, this is... Okay, can someone in this video tell me if the position was repeated 3 times or not? Because I might have missed my draw. And I play rook d7. The reason I play rook d7 is because I didn't like this knight b2 here. I really didn't like this knight b2 here. I thought it would be super strong. Rook b1, bishop f8, bishop h3. Okay, here is the moment I lost patience. I was like... I know you repeat the moves, but at the same time, I know that you do not want a draw. You do not want a draw because you're gonna just try something else. You know, this is a Kramnik rule. Kramnik would always say, repeat the position 2 times to make your opponent think that you want to draw, when in fact you do not. Play with his, emotions. Just manipulate him. Make him relax and like, okay, it's already a draw, and then no, it's not. I knew my opponent was doing this. I actually got tricked the same time against another IM from India like 4 years ago in Gibraltar Open. No, actually, why 4? Wait, it was 2020. Yeah, and I was like, you know what? I'm the one going for the win. Okay, I'm gonna win. Rook G7, Bishop G2, G5. Dina lost her patience. H takes G5, Rook takes G5. Actually, I thought I was just gonna mate. I was just gonna okay, and okay, and okay, and boom, and boom, and boom, and checkmate. Bishop E4, Bishop D6, King G2. What did I tell you? Just Queen C7, and then sacrifice, and then checkmate. The reason I did not play Queen C7, and that was my first candidate move. I wanted to do it like right away. I got tricked by a very stupid thought, F4, and I'm like, maybe I won't checkmate right away. Maybe this is not enough. Well, this is a weakness on G3. Well, the king is completely bare naked, but maybe I have more advantage if I start first with F5 and then the bishop goes back and then I threaten G3. And they only have this knight F4, but I just win a pawn and I'm winning. Or if they go knight e5, I just win a pawn and I'm winning. Total crap. Everything I just said is complete nonsense. Just king f1, and what do you want, girl? Go sack your bishop. It will not make any single sense. Goodbye, young lady. Game over. The worst part about it is that I saw king f1, but somehow I had this very terrible bug. I don't know what happened. Maybe I was just tired, but I couldn't connect the dots that my opponent will play king f1, the move that I saw, and I will not win a pawn. And therefore, f5 was a total disaster, because by playing f5, I completely block my pawn structure. I weaken e5 square, and I make my bishop dump here on c8. Honestly, by playing f5, I just really game. It wasn't by playing g5, but it was actually even later. Like, had I played queen c7, my g5 interesting maneuver, taking some risk, would still be okay. And the game would go on. And maybe I would do great in this game. I mean, just good. But instead, as you can see, queen c8, and then, f4, and then rook g7, but here, okay. But instead, I played f5, and It's just, I'll show you how the game continued, but basically here, it's a positional disaster, and it's only a question of time. I'm just doing some moves, but actually I have zero plan. I can't push e5 anymore, because then the f5 would be weak. I'm trying to hold on, plus I was losing time, king f1, bishop b4, some two-move tactics. And actually, funny thing here was queen c4, and if b5, which I planned, it's just knight b4, and it's funny because I cannot take the queen takes, and if I take here, then I just lose a pawn. Yeah, I was going to play b5, but I mean, also I have this queen c4. Maybe it's not that bad, but yeah, it's just to show you that I wasn't connecting the dots anymore. And then I'm just staying on the same spot, knight c5, but this is just still losing. My last attempt to kind of complicate was after here when I played f4, and then if pawn takes, then I got this nice bishop e4. And still, see this? Computer still says white is just totally better. I was hoping for some perpetuals, but no perpetuals here. So yes, in the game my opponent plays even better, and then queen c2. Okay, here was one more last chance to survive. It would be to accept the pawn down and go to the endgame, but I was like, I don't want to play pawn down. I couldn't feel the danger. See, I couldn't feel any danger that I was facing here. I was like, I'm totally great. Why would I give the pawn? I took the pawn back. The thing is, just this is collapsing. My king is collapsing. My rooks are ridiculous. My pawns are weak. And yeah, and there is absolutely zero harmony between my pieces. So like a couple moves later with a super low on time, under the pressure of the failure of the pawn, I blunder. King f8, I'll let you find the solution. 3, 2, 1. Congratulations, you found it. Thank you for the pawn, Dina. Ah. Yeah, that was a painful game. Queen c2, and then, okay, goodbye. I mean, Queen c2 is not even necessary. Ah, moral of the story. Had I stayed on the same spot, that's actually a very famous trick. When you play against lower rated opponents, you let them take this courage, the feeling that, oh yeah, they can overtake the game. They can start playing for the win. Like, imagine I'm playing whites, yeah? I'm speaking from behalf of my opponents. I let her think that I don't want to draw, but at the same time, I don't have any plan. So I let her think that she might actually take the initiative and play for a win just because I'm so slow and passive and yet stubborn not to accept the draw. But this is actually the trap. Don't fall for it, okay? If the position is objectively a bit worse and you see your opponent doesn't have any way to improve, maybe it's fun. Maybe you do not have to get over pushed, you know, like it's really like provocative. My Indian international master opponent provoked me into losing my patience, and that's how I lost the game. By the way, the subscribe button is right here, and I am absolutely sure you already clicked on it, but in case you didn't, costs nothing. Will make me smile. Thank you. Oh yeah, I actually beat 2 grandmasters, so the tournament wasn't that bad.